Hey everyone, my name is Job. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have a massive pen haul today, and this is a little bit out of the norm for me because I have been on a stationary no spend. It wasn't an intentional thing, it kind of just happened because I thought I had way too much stationery and I thought I would enjoy the stuff that I had instead of buying more things. But as you can see, that kind of just fell through the cracks a few days ago because I started to buy more pens and whatnot. But all of these things that I've purchased, there is a reason as to why I'm buying them because I actually am, I don't want to say I have a weak pen game, but I think I do because I only have one Sharpie pen that I've been using for everything and one random ballpoint pen that I took from work. So that's a little bit crazy. So I'll talk about what I purchased. As you see earlier, I bought two acrylic pen holders. One is a 3-compartment system that I'm going to keep at home, and the cylinder pen holder is going to be the one that I bring to work. And a lot of the pens that I bought at Muji are going to be actually, I guess I'm showcasing to you on this channel, but I am going to be bringing them to work, and I'll talk about why I chose these colors for a reason later. But I bought I guess there's like 3 distinct categories. The first category is the mechanical pencils. So I bought these white, or I guess kind of translucent mechanical pencils. These are 0.5 pencils, so they take 0.5 millimeter lead. They write super smooth. I'll talk about them in greater detail when I do swatches later. And I bought some lead. I like buying like proprietary things for certain pens. Like if I have a Pilot fountain pen, I like buying Pilot ink. I don't know, it's a weird thing with me, but I bought some Muji lead. And then next up, I have these pens. These are 0.38 millimeter retractable ballpoint pens. These are super fine. I'll talk about them in more detail later when I do the swatches, as I've said earlier, but these are pretty good. I got them in 3 colors, one in pink, one in black, and one in orange. And I also bought some awesome highlighters. So these are retractable. And I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm working or when I'm teaching, I like everything to be like retractable in terms of like pens, because I just need that quick, I just need my pens quick and easy to access. I don't know, it sounds ridiculous, but when you're working, don't you just want a clicky pen because it's so much more efficient? I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'll ramble about that later on. And then this is like the main part of the show here. It might be boring for some people, but I find this extremely exciting. These are the Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens, and this came in a set of 4. And it comes with a brush nib, one in medium, one in small, and one in fine. And it's a little bit confusing because the small nib is actually the finer nib, and then the fine is a little bit thicker than the small. So if you are new to the Pitt Artist Pen series, it gets a little bit confusing. And then I also purchased this huge set of Micron pens. So this comes with a Pigma Brush pen, a Pigma Graphic 1, so it's kind of like a marker hybrid pen. And then it comes with, I think, 4 or 5 sizes from Pigma Micron size 1 all the way to 005, and that was super fine. I also got a Sharpie pen. I really like the Sharpie pen because it can write on different types of surfaces, and it's an overall great pen. And this is the last pen to introduce in this haul. This is actually the Traveler's Company fountain pen. It's amazing. I can't even talk about it enough. I know I've already introduced it in an earlier video, but I want to talk about it in more detail in this video, so I will chat about it more in the swatches portion of this video. And lastly, I have this massive set of Zebra Mildliners. Mildliners are just, I guess you would say, fancy highlighters. They come in muted hues, and I don't know, it's an overall cool take on the highlighter because sometimes you don't want that neon color on your sheet or your page that you're highlighting. So I'm jumping ahead of this, but I recommend these a lot. But let's talk about swatches. So I am using a dot grid Traveler's Company insert, which I purchased from Paper, and I like this paper. I like Traveler's Company paper in general, but I like the dot grid because it provides the same, I guess, guidelines as a regular grid notebook, but without the distractions of the full-on line. So you just get the dots. And I have, well, I think you've kind of guessed why I bought all these pens and highlighters and mildliners. Kind of want to get into bullet journaling again, so maybe that's a future video. But as you can see, the Muji retractable highlighters write, or at least highlight pretty well. They are the standard highlighter color. They are bright neon, and they're quite smooth, and I like the retractable feature. It actually covers the, I guess, the nib when it retracts, and it keeps the nib nice and juicy, which I like. And then the Muji 0.38 retractable pens are a bit scratchy, so I used the black one today, and at the beginning it was a little bit scratchy, and even when I was doing this swatch, it was a little bit scratchy, but I think with a little bit more use, it'll be a little bit better, because I've used Muji pens before and they write pretty smooth. As you can see, I am in the Pigma Brush territory, and this is the Pigma Brush pen. Amazing. It's archival ink. It is pitch black. You can get some awesome line variation. It is not as great as the Tombow brush pens in terms of calligraphy, but if you are like inking something or inking a drawing and you want that thick and thin line look, I would definitely recommend the Pigma Brush pen. Next up, we have the Pigma Graphic 1. It's kind of like the Sharpie pen, and it's pretty thick. It's almost like a marker. The Pigma 01, this is the Micron 01, is probably the best thin marker. And then 02 and 03, Pigma Micron 02 and 03 are pretty great. I think I usually use 03. It's just right. 0.5 is also great. It's similar to the Sharpie pen. And then Micron 005, this is the smallest, like the smallest nib that they have. This is way too tiny. I know I'll probably break the nib in like a day or so. So I don't recommend that if you have a heavy hand like me. The Sharpie pen only comes in one size. It comes in fine, and it's kind of comparable to the Micron 05, I would say. I like the 03 size if you're looking for like the perfect kind of fine pen. Micron 03 is the way to go. And as you can see, I kind of felt a little bit, I don't know, iffy about the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens. I used to own these, and I still have the brush pen that I still use, but I just realized that it is not a true black. It is pretty gray. The brush tip is great. It's very comparable to the Pigma Brush pen, so if you don't mind a little bit more gray ink, I would go with Faber-Castell. And then the medium nib is really thick. It's almost like the Graphic 1 on the Pigma. And then the small is the finer pen, and the fine Pitt Artist pen is it's kind of like the in-between medium and small. It's kind of confusing actually. So I like the small size, which is the finest that the Pitt Artist pens come in. I believe there's another one that's finer, but I don't have it. Well, I didn't purchase it. And then now I am trying out the Muji Mechanical Pen with the 0.5 lead. This lead is oddly very gray, so if you like sketching very lightly, I would recommend it, but yeah, it's all right. And then the Traveler's Company pen that I'm using with this Caran d'Ache ink is writing beautifully. I think this is my smoothest like fountain pen that I have, and it's ridiculous because I own some, I would say, nicer fountain pens. I'm not like a super fountain pen connoisseur, but I think this is smooth, and I would definitely check it out. Go check it out at Paper in Granville Island if you live in Vancouver, because they actually stock this, and it's so hard to find locally because I didn't want to purchase it online. I wanted to see it in person. So go check out Paper because they carry the brass pens, or the Traveler's Company brass pens, and yeah, they write smoothly. I love it. I've been using it at school, at work, and in my like personal writing a lot. So if you were to purchase one thing from this haul, buy that one, and maybe the Mildliners. Spoiler alert, but we'll talk about it right now actually. So set number 1, I don't know the formal name on these, and I really should have done some more research, but set number 1 I believe is the original set, or at least this is the first one that I came across in Asia like 4 years ago. This comes with these are not the official colors, by the way, so this is just me making up names for these. It comes with like a light gray. A light gray, sorry, that's for later, but it comes with a light green, and then the sky blue, and then the gray, which is my favorite. This is why I purchased it. And then lilac, which I love. This is actually a really nice like light purple. And then I don't know. This is supposed to be like a pink color, but it looks more like an old rose, like muted red color. Set number 2 contains, I don't know, this, I think if I had to purchase a set by itself, I would purchase set 2 because it comes with a teal, which is really nice, and then it comes with this muted fuchsia, which is unexpectedly really nice. I don't know if I would like it as a highlighter, but I definitely like it as a marker. And then it comes with this yellow mango color, which I like, and then this is my all-time favorite color, like this dark deep orange, as I called it burnt sienna, which is so like kind of cringy, I'm sorry. And then there's a brown, so I really like this. I actually purchased the brown marker by itself because I want to use it at work when I'm teaching. And then set 3 is basically like a classic take on the regular highlighters, but I feel like they're not as bright. Like these are very bright, but not as like eye-searing in terms of the color. So if you compare it to the Muji colors on the right side, they are a lot more muted. So it comes in pink, orange, yellow, like a bluish green, and then a blue. And overall, I really liked these, and I really like the color range. I would use set 2 if I had to just have one set. And then I tried the smudge test to see if it would smudge the pen. I used a Sharpie pen. It didn't smudge it, which is great because sometimes when I use a highlighter, it'll smudge or kind of reactivate the ink, which this didn't. And then if you have sweaty hands like me, I did like a quick dry test to see if the moisture on my hands would smudge the ink. And it did, so like very little. Like it kind of smudged a little, but you can't really see it, which is great. And then overall, I think I was just writing my thoughts. I like these mild liners a lot in general, but I think the one kind of like miss in this haul, like if I had to kind of like reconsider purchasing it, I would probably think about not getting the Muji 0.38 pens, just in terms of initial impressions. In terms of ghosting, everything, like in terms of the brush markers and the highlighters, they did minimal ghosting, so they didn't bleed through the page, and overall there was minimal ghosting, so that means it kind of didn't show through at the back, which is great. And this is great if you have like a very thin like notebook or thin paper in your notebook, so it doesn't bleed through or it doesn't ghost as much, which I like. So overall, I really like everything that I purchased. If I had to tell you what I would choose over in terms of pens, I would go for the Pigma pens instead of the Faber-Castell pens if you're into inking. And I actually did some watercoloring, and I did some like sketching over top, and I would say that the Pigma markers looked better on top of the watercolor because the Faber-Castell comes off a little bit gray. Also, I would definitely get the mild liners and the Traveler's Company fountain pen. So the Muji pens are just a little bit iffy, but I'm gonna give them a try. I'll let you guys know in the future if I still like them. I usually like the Muji pens. It's weird. Maybe these retractable ones were a little bit faulty. I should have tried them out before purchasing them. But yeah, that was my haul. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you found it useful. Let me know if you have any pen recommendations for me because I like trying out new pens and whatnot. But that's all for today. I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.